Hi guys, Bob here again. Today I'm going to just go over, again, want to go over some brushed motor stuff. Simply being, like the Speed Gems 2 here from Trinity, probably 2001 era, somewhere around there. Even though it is a mild modified, one way to tell is most modified motors, even the mild ones, like this being a 19 turn, would have ball bearings in it, whereas stock motors, like the super stock Tamiya motor, it's a 23 turn, but it's got bushings in it. And this has lock timing, this has adjustable timing. Now, getting onto the timing, most all will have marks on the end bell and maybe a little hash mark on the can. Some do, some don't. And that's a whole nother story. The easy way to figure out where your timing is the brushes should be in the center of the magnets in the can. And that's pretty much going to be zero timing. So brushes, center of the magnets on either side. The other way would be to pick up a tool like this, and I think you could still pick these up. These are kind of hard to read nowadays, but because it's getting old. I like to, if you can find the hash mark on the can and the end bell, and as you can see, those are lined up perfectly there. This has got a 0 on the molding, so you drop the motor in, you can line it up, and the brushes are actually brush hoods. I should say, brush hoods, and the heat sinks, but basically the brushes are in line, east and west, north and south. That's just how I look at it. On the flip side, you will see that there's a slot in this motor timing jig. Spit it out, Bob. And the mounting holes, because on these motors, and most other mod motors, this Kyosho motor, even the Tamiya motor, is going to have dual mounting positions on each side. This old Reedy motor, they have 4 different mounting locations, and that's so you can pretty much get your gear mesh just right. That's another thing. Now, like this Tamiya torque tune, although this output shaft bushing is very huge, most of these silver cans, even the stock 540, will have an extra hole, you know, I would say on the east side, depending on how you look at it, either left or right of the mounting holes being up and down. That is how you would determine that mark here. Although this output bushing is bigger than this hole, you can still stick it in there and find that mounting hole, and you can flip it over, and you can actually see that well, you can't really see the brushes, but you can see that the motor wires are actually timed just a little bit. So that's this motor, this torque tune, has a little bit of timing in it, not a lot, maybe 8 to 10 degrees, if that. But there's no timing marks on it. You can't adjust these, so I'm not going to count those into this. Some motors like this old Epic motor, they will have timing marks from 0 to 20 to 40. Now, that's not true on all motors. This Kyosho motor is going to have 0 to 6. And that tells you left or right. Usually, if you got the motor in your hand like this, again, I always have the positive on the nook of my hand here. When you rotate it to the right, I guess you could say, that would be counterclockwise. It actually advances the timing. And we're going to get into that in a minute. This motor here, this Tamiya motor, is locked. Now I could put this motor in here. There's a 0 on the can. So I line that 0 up with the mark on my timing rig, and you could actually see how much timing it's got. The brushes are probably like at what, 3 and 7? 2 and 7, excuse me, 2 and 7. And looking at the screw, all right, let's try to get this a little simpler. It used to be, I think, that every 3 millimeters was 10 degrees. 2 to 3 millimeters was 10 degrees. So if I go 10, 20, 30, I don't think that's right. So I'm going to go 10, 20. So this is about 22 degrees timing on this motor. I don't know exactly for sure. It's not spec'd on the box. I'm sure somebody knows. I do not. I've only had Tamiya motors the last couple of years. I don't know much about them other than they work, and they work good. And they work better if you put bearings in them. Now you can, and I'll probably do a video on this, because I just figured out that in my Black Edition Cloud I could put 2 of these in. So I might do that, and I'll do a video on that and how to get these to work in the Cloud. But anyway, getting back to the timing stuff, because I'm going OCD. Motors like this old Reedy, this 9.3, the Trisonic. This is a motor from 1998, and the 9.3 stood for 9 triple. Now, this was given to me by a guy I bought a Cloudbuster from because he was selling it, and people were undercutting his bid because he didn't know what it was worth. It was a stock looking Cloud, but it had a high-tech servo in it. It had the Super Rooster that you've seen on my channel. It had that in it. It had the factory original option oil-filled CVA shocks from Tamiya in it, and it had the Kyosho motors. I think it was the Mega 360s, and people were telling them it was only worth 100 to 150. Now, I know for a damn fact that the speed controller alone was worth 100, if not more. The motors are probably worth 100, if not more. So I told him, I says, look, that truck's probably worth 250 on the low side. And he says, you know, for being honest with me and all these other guys trying to basically steal the truck from him, we made up a deal. And so I bought the truck off of him, and he threw this motor in. That's the story of how that went down. And I appreciate it. Didn't know it was coming. However, it is not a 9.3. It's been changed. So I can't remember what it was because it's been that long since I was in it. But every time I get a used brushed motor, I tear them down, take a look. You know, because you could tell a lot by the motor. If the copper strands are black, it's been ran hot, which means the magnets are probably cooked, and trying to find a magnet zapper these days, which is, should have frickin' bought one years ago. You could rejuvenate an old burnt out motor that's been ran hot with a magnetizer for these motors. And damn, I'd love to find one, but when you do find them, they're like $500-600. Nah, I can't do that. I mean, they were 300 plus 20-25 years ago. So, but anyway, another story. The timing on the motors makes a difference, and we're gonna do some of that right with this right now. So I'm going to put this adapter on here. If I put it on the right way, that would help, Bobby. All right, and I just called myself Bobby, and I can't stand that frickin' word. All right. Don't have to crank that puppy down too hard. Now, loosen that up, dumbass. All right, now that's on. It's clamped down. Again, I didn't clamp it too tight because it's on the label, and the guy I bought the dyno from told me that he changed that piece out for the plastic one so it wouldn't dig into the motor, but digging into the motor is not an issue with the plastic, or onto the label with the plastic, but it is with the metal one that was in there. All right, well, anywho, motor test, enter. I'm not running it at 7.2. I'm going to lower that to about 5 volts. Because I don't want it to be whizzing when I do this. Okay, so it's set to 5 volts. Stand up to do this. And hopefully you all can see this. Okay, I'm going to start it up. Oh, you know what? Let me cancel that. Because, can you guys see the problem? I can see the problem. Somebody, dumbass, forgot to hook up the wires. Okay, so it happens to the best of us, you know, sometimes we just forget stuff. So, all right, now. All right. Uh-oh, somebody said something to me here. Hang on. Just a reminder. All right. Here we go. Motor test. 5 volts. Again, this is only a 19-turn motor, so it's not going to be outrageously quick. And at 5 volts, it's about 14 and a half, give or take. Now, what's going to happen when I grab the end bell and I rotate the timing to the second notch on the end bell, you're going to hear an increase in speed. Ready? Did you hear it? Now it's about 55. That's another 1,000 RPM just by increasing that, probably maybe 3.5, 4 millimeters, according to these lines. What happens if I go to the next line? You can hear how it kind of goes in and out now. So that's the next line. Now it's at 22,000 RPM, not 22, 20,200, 20,300. So you can hear a big difference when you adjust the timing. And that's great, you know, if you're out doing some racing and, you know, your buddy's got the same motor or something similar, and you want to try to get an edge, and maybe he doesn't know about the adjustable timing. Maybe you do. Now, I've had people ask me, well, what happens if you go the other way? So let's try that. And there's no hash marks on this side of the motor. Now let that get up to 5 volts. again, 14,000, 14.3, 14.5. It's bouncing around. If I go the other way, really nothing. It's more for efficiency than anything. Not very fast. It won't be very fast, but going on the timing way, it makes a big difference. Okay, so I'm going to stop that, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it on the first mark and I'm going to lock it down. Okay, just tighten up the endbell screws just a little bit. You don't have to go crazy on it, just so it doesn't move. And along with the timing that I just put into it, I'm going to try something else, and hopefully we'll catch it on camera. So let's try that right now. Okay, it's up to speed. Talking about spring tension now. Okay, too much tension, it doesn't want to work too good. Back it off, it didn't want to work too good, so I'm guessing I got the proper springs in it. Okay, so that was a bad example on this motor. And the other thing, when they're at zero timing, they run cooler. Not as fast, not working as much, but definitely you won't get the power out of it. One more thing. Slide this up out of the way here for a second. I'm gonna bring this up over in here. This here, on this motor here, is what you would call a stand-up brush. It goes into the brush hood perpendicular, or vertical. Okay. Now there are some, well, like this Tamiya motor. Let's do that. Use that as an example. These are what they call lay-down brushes, and they go in horizontal. The brush number for Tamiya's is 53483 if you want to get those, and the standard stand-up brushes are 53581. They'll work in any motor, and I could actually prove that if I wanted to take the brushes out of one motor and stick them in the other, because I have plenty of them. But again, getting back to the timing, some are different. Looking at the Cobalt and this old Speedworks, 0, 10, 20 is not as far spaced as on the Cobalt. So timing is really, I guess it's just a fundamental terminology, because they are all different. This Tony Neisinger motor, Tony Neisinger. Yeah, it's a Speedworks Signature Series motor, made by Epic. Got those big round cooling holes in the bottom of them that most of them don't have anymore. Same with the Oval Man. I don't know what the turns on. I think this was a 14 quad or something like that, and the oval man I'm not sure, and tri-rotor, which most of them are. So but the timing on most of these are totally different. Now, when I first was going to start this video, and I was looking at the reedy motor, which is made by Yokomo. I don't know if you can see it. It's made by Yokomo. But looking at the side of the can, oh, you got these oval vents, and then these lines almost matched. So I'm wondering if these Tamiya motors are just stamped different, but made. No, they can't be, because the slot or the notch right here for the locking ring is off to the side, where on the reedy they line up. Huh, never mind. I thought they were probably made by the Tamiyas were made by Yokomo, but I guess not, because that's a different looking brush hood and totally different endbell. And you can see the difference because they use that bushing there. The other thing I did notice is that I know these Tamiya motors get hot. You could pull that chip out. You could take the end bell completely off, and just above that little catch right there for this capacitor chip, you could probably drill a 3-4 millimeter hole down low in this end bell, because you don't want to do it where the bearing's at. And then once you get that all cleaned out and free of debris, I guess, and slag terminology, put your chip back in, and there's a space in between it. It may blow some hot air out of it instead of just the one end, the one side, and it may keep it cooler. That's something I'm going to try. So I'll probably do that on some TZs, because I want to get a couple more of those, and go from there. But again, the timing on motors is totally different. Big old yawn there. Sorry guys. Let me get this out of the way. Put that over there. Put this over here. Now, here's something I've not done in a while. It's taking a motor apart. Well, at least this motor, I should say, because I wanted to look at something. I'll be right back. Give me a second. All right, so got the Trisonics endbell off. Got my calipers set at 0, and oh, well, these are definitely steel, aren't they? As you can see, that says 7.60. 7.601, get down back on there, 7.74. What's the true reading? 7.72, 7. No, that's definitely out of round. 7.73, let's just say 7.73, okay? That's the Trisonic. Now, this here is at 19 turn speed gems, the quartz. $7.35. Ah, this is a large one. It's supposed to have a small com in it, so I knew that was different. All right, let me turn this one down. I'll be right back. All right, guys. Well, I'm sorry, I do not have another motor that has. Look at that glob of solder on there. That has a smaller com. They did that for a reason. Oh, this says 10.2. Man, there's some fat wire on that sucker. The other thing to watch out for is the armature itself. Go grab that one Kevin turned while he was here. Sometimes they could be different lengths. You could tell by these stacks that the stacks are different lengths. And will this fit in this can? It should. Will it line up? It probably still should. And it does. But it's pushing way down on that front bearing. Only because it's not centering into the magnets as it should, because oops, I need that spacer back. Give me that spacer. The stacks are shorter, as you can see, compared to the stacks out of that motor itself. And so what's happening is it's not sitting square into the magnets, and that's another motor tuning. Come on, you little son of a gun, I need you back. That's another motor tuning trick, is to, hang on, I'm trying to get this spacer off. Be right back. All right, as I was saying, that was the other trick. What you do to get the motors they're most efficient is you would take all the bushings out like that. I always leave the non-conductive part in, and you drop it into the can, and you can see how it moves in and out. The magnets are pushing it to where it needs to be. And usually what you do is you put your end bell back on, kind of hold it in place so it doesn't move, but doesn't obstruct the shaft. And you push it in and out, you pull it in and out, and you let it fall where it may. And where it settles is the sweet spot. You may have some end play on the output side. You may have some end play on the end bell end. As you can see, it goes in, but I could also pull it in. So that tells me, from there you go with your shims, and this looks like it was already set up pretty good. You put your shims back on. Yep, sure thing, Bobby. There it is. Put your shims back on. Come on. And that comm looks actually pretty good. So I'm not going to touch that with my fingers. Take your other spacer, bushing, shim, whatever you want to call it. Stick it on the output. And my little trick is to hold the can upside down so you don't drop it, and let the magnets do the work. Pulls it right through, and then flip it back over, put the shim back on because I dropped it, because I was being an idiot and didn't realize that I was going to invert it. But anyway, put your motor back together. These are a little different because there's no way to tell which was positive and which was negative, but I know where it's at because it's my motor. And the more the more you play with it, the better it gets. All right, that's enough of that. So that's that. I did really want to demonstrate what it's like with different spring tensions on a motor. And that's why they have heavy, super heavy, medium, medium light, medium heavy, light, soft, super soft, whatever. That's why they had, and why they sell those type of brushes or springs, just for that reason, so you could tune it. And I missed out on that. So, well, I didn't miss out on that. I missed the opportunity to show you which one's which, or how it works, as well as timing. The timing, the shims, the spring tension, and the brushes, which we didn't get into because there's carbon, there's super hard, there's econo, there's silver content. The more silver, the more power you'll get into the motor. In theory, the more power that goes into the motor, the faster it's going to spin. Problem is silver wears out the com a lot faster than the carbon brushes. Don't ask me how or why. I think the silver's slightly harder, but it's more conductive. I don't know about the differences between the carbon and the silver content brushes. All I know is that the silver wears them out faster. If anybody knows if carbon's softer than silver, or silver content in the brushes, let me know. And with that, guys, I can't do much more than this. I mean, if you want to know something, ask me, and I'll see if I can bring it to light. Now, I wonder, and if this is something you guys want to see, if I stuck a brushless motor on this dyno and powered it with a speed controller, am I still going to get the reading? It's not going to give me the amp draws and all that, or even the voltage, but will it run it? I don't know. I don't know if I could power the ESC with this. No, I don't know. And I don't want to ruin my stuff trying to figure it out, you know. But I think I can put a brushless on here and run it through an ESC and a radio and just have that spinning up while it's powered on without having any power. Sorry, yawn. I'm getting bored of my own stuff. So, that's it, guys. Just be on the lookout that not all motors are the same. Motor can thickness also plays a role in how a motor performs and how much magnetic gauzes it's going to keep, and how well. But like I said, the magnet zapper, and I don't know well enough which motor or which magnet in the motor can it's going to be a North Pole or a South Pole. I have no clue. It's not like they're marked, at least not on this. Some are white, some are blue, some are yellow, some of them, God dang it, the magnets are colored. Again, I don't know what that means. I'm not an electronical engineer, never was. I was a grunt. I worked security. I worked in an auto shop for 20 plus years. That's about it. Don't know what else to say other than if you want to see what the black cloud looks like on two of the RZs, let me know. I'll make it happen. I will probably put bearings in them as well. there's a trick to that. If you really would like to do that, somebody else asked me, and I sent it to them in basically a text or something, like a response to a comment, that I'm going to use this one because it's already open. Oh, there you go. Drop it, Bobby, you dumbass. All right, turn this off because I don't need it on. What you can do is you could take like a 2 mil tool or something. If it's got a rounder shank, it might be better. And put it through the can. Then you would take, I'm going to use this bushing. This still recording? Yeah. I'm going to use this bushing, and you would drop it in. And then some T-handled tools, wrenches, spanners, whatever you guys want to call them. I call them a Tamiya wrench or 4-way. Some of them are hollow. Slip that over. Turn it until it reaches the magnets, or it's in between the magnets. Make sure your can is on a hard surface, hardwood, concrete, marble, whatever you've got. Make sure it's flat and it doesn't wobble as much. You would take like a small ball peen hammer and just slowly tap it in. If you don't have a wooden dowel, these 4-ways are almost a perfect size to go around that entire bushing on the outer race, and that's where you want to pound it. You don't want to stick a Phillips head screwdriver into the, damn, these magnets are strong in this motor, and then tap on that to seat the bearing. That's going to push it on the inner race, and that can screw up your bearings. Some motor bearings, they're going to be, not all, some are rubber sealed on one side, metal sealed on the other. You want the rubber side facing out or towards the output. Again, common sense thing. Damn, I'd really like to find a 4-way, and I thought I had one over here that was hollowed out. Let me go find one. I'll be right back. Give me a second. Okay, so here's an old HPI one, and being an alloy, like an aluminum alloy, they're non-magnetic, so they won't, the magnets won't grab them. If it's not hollowed out, most of the time it's just like a flashing over it. You could take anything really, stick it in until you hit it, and tap it out. A small ball peen hammer, probably like a 6 ounce, no, not 6 ounces, that's heavy. Like a small craft hammer, you know, brass and plastic. One of those little small hammers, like a dainty woman's hammer. I mean, you don't want to go with a 5-pound sledge to knock those in. Just about everybody has a 4-way because they come in every kit. You know, and if it's a plastic one like this Lozy or Associated one, I'm sure you could drill it out to fit over the shaft, you know, like this, because this one's not, okay. You could drill it out, or you could use like a 8-inch wooden dowel, which is a hard wooden dowel. You're only going to need what, maybe a 3-inch piece. If you have these would work too. Problem is it's going to grab it and it can shift on you. I prefer to use something non-magnetic, aluminum, wood, plastic, or brass. All those things could be found on Amazon or eBay or your local hardware store or home improvement store. And prices are going to vary, but this works just fine. It gives you plenty to tap it in. And once you get it started, just make sure it's centered on the outer races after every tap. center it up, give it a light tap, you know, just, I don't have one with me, but just a little tap. Take a look, see how far you got to go down. Should be in there pretty flush. You'll hear a tone difference once it's seated. And go from there. I don't know if a glue stick would work. I've never tried it. Most people have hot glue sticks. Again, I never tried it. I always used the 4-way, and it kind of fits in between the magnets, like I said, and it kind of like it was made for it. So just make sure that the output is on a hard, flat surface. You want that to going to be as square as possible. The endbell, well, that's simple. Same thing. This is not fitting for some reason, but oh, I still got stuff on there. That's why. You could probably use. Oh, okay. The brush hood on this one's hitting a little bit, but those pretty much just push right in. It's in plastic. They pop out and push in with hardly any resistance. There's enough resistance to hold them in place. You know, and if worse comes to worse, you could get the bearings started, take the bushing that came out, if you're replacing them, whatever, whatnot, whatever. Kind of line it up. Get it to drop into the hole. And now that that's centered, again, make sure it's on a flat surface. Take your tool and tap it down in. It's not hard. Very simple. Oh, and I got that one stuck in there. Okay. Because it recessed. Then with the bearing. That's cool. All right. Oh, there's the thing. All right, so that's simple, guys. It's very easy to do. Sorry this took a little longer than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be like a 20-minute video, not an hour, but I'm sorry. Guys, any questions, comments, please leave them below, and I'll do my best. And if I can't answer it, maybe one of the people who's watching could answer it. And I go through everybody's comments and read them anyway, so that's just me. All right, guys, catch you on the flip side. Have a good one. See you then. Bye.